What's up, jabroni? Steven here, and welcome to my WWE Reacts show, which is pretty much me just going through the news, hanging out with you guys, talking about what happened in the wild world of wrestling this week. This week has actually got a couple stories that are actually worth talking about and worth mentioning about. I mean, stories that have to do with Roman Reigns, stories that have to do with Paige, Del Rio. I mean, Vince Russo's always saying random shit, and he did it once again. I'm going to talk about some CM Punk stuff and his relationship with Colt Cabana. And we're just going to talk, hang out, go through some of these things together. Let me get that started here. All right, bam. So as you can see here, the first thing we're going to be talking about is Paige. Now, what the rumor is saying is that the WWE reportedly threatened to fire Paige if she didn't break up with Alberto Del Rio, which makes sense, I guess, if you think about it, because they separated them in the draft. Alberto Del Rio was not happy about that, and if you really think about it, Paige has been not in the limelight lately. She's been put to the back burner, hasn't been doing anything really in WWE. Then she got suspended. We don't know what it was for. The rumors are saying that it was for a different thing than what Del Rio was suspended for. But they do hang out. They've been doing a lot of things together. And let's read what this story here says. All right, let me bring it up here. Let's talk about what happened. So on this week's episode of MSL and Sullivan, former Ring of Honor and Evolve commentator Mr. Saint Laurent and former WCW matchmaker Kevin Sullivan discussed the romantic relationship between Alberto Del Rio and Paige. And supposedly, the WWE has gone to great lengths to make the two not be together, split them up. Mark Carrano, who fans might know from Total Divas, kind of like the Office liaison guy, approached Del Rio and Paige individually and harassed each of them about their relationship. It was indicated that their office wanted them to sever their relationship. A lot of people speculated that if that was the reason that they split them for the draft, which is what I said. And after what's been happening with Del Rio and Paige, it makes sense. Now, my thoughts on this are a little bit conflicted because I love Paige. Like, really, really love Paige. And Del Rio's a good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler. He does his thing. He's a good wrestler. But Paige is my concern here because Paige is like 24, 25 years old, super young, super talented, has plenty of years left in her. And her behavior, according to the rumors, while she's been dating Del Rio, have just been kind of all over the place. And with her suspension and everything she's been doing, and now Del Rio, another story is saying that he is actually done with WWE. Let me see if I can find that story here. Where is it? I know this article here. There you go. Bam. So, no, that's not it. That has to do with Del Rio. Here you go. So, Alberto Del Rio, I keep calling it Alberto Del Rio, is when he originally signed on with WWE about a year ago or so, when he defeated John Cena and took the belt, the original plans, or according to him, was saying that he would have in his 1 year here, he would have a shot at the title. And then the rumors were saying, where is it? That his original plans were for him to hang out and be the Brock Lesnar to Paul Heyman. But something must have happened, and that went out the window. According to the Wrestling Observer, Del Rio became unhappy in WWE as he felt numerous promises made to him were broken and never came to be. Which would make sense because if you think about it, why would Del Rio come back? Why would he come back? He would come back to be a mid-carder. Why? He was doing great things in Lucha Underground. He was getting paid well. It makes sense that he would come back because he was told that he would have a chance to do something, at least in the main stay. So where are we? The observer notes thing. The observer notes thing were originally supposed to be a huge for Del Rio. That's horribly written. And he was promised a main event push with Paul Heyman as manager. that would explain why that random ass thing with Zeb Coulter was done, because that was just weird. The idea behind the push would have been to make Del Rio the next major Hispanic baby face in WWE, replacing the void left after Rey Mysterio. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. We don't really have that many Hispanics in WWE right now. I mean, Kalisto is there, Sin Cara's there, Del Rio was there, but there's not many people that you can see as like baby faces or anything. Early on, Vince McMahon reportedly treated Del Rio so well that the two would fly together and even sat next to each other. So Del Rio and Vince McMahon were buddies.
Cool.
Something happened. Something happened that these two guys or somebody in creative just did not want to push Del Rio. Here we go. The report as Del Rio was always said to be Vince McMahon's guy, and Del Rio's issues privately were with Paul Heyman. Interesting. It's being said, however, that if Vince really wanted Del Rio to be one of the company's top guys, Vince would have worked hard to smooth over the issues between Del Rio and Triple H. All right, so I guess Triple H was the one that was having issues, and Del Rio was having issues with Paul Heyman. So there we go for that. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, if you're Del Rio, right? I get Paul Heyman's. He's unique. He's not the most likable guy, but he gets the job done. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what he's doing. So for Del Rio, of all people, to have a problem with Paul Heyman, which then in turn makes Triple H have a problem with Del Rio's got to suck it up. Like, dude, you were going to get the push of a lifetime. You have always been mediocre on the mic. When he first showed up and he was that rich, cocky guy, that was a decent gimmick. But if you would have gotten Paul Heyman as your mic guy, and then all you had to do was your in-ring work, which to me, your in-ring work is amazing. You can do your in-ring work. Instead, it looks like you became unhappy and you are not going to renew your contract. You are essentially going to be quitting and going back to Lucha Underground, which is not a problem. I mean, you can go to Lucha Underground, you can go to New Japan, you can go to TNA. I mean, you can go to all these things, but dude, you were so in with Vince. You could have done something. You could have like been this guy. I mean, I've never really liked Del Rio for his charisma or anything. He's got decent charisma, but he never really grabbed me. I was never a fan of his like characters or his gimmicks. I liked him in the ring. He's fine. But just never grabbed me. He had moments where he was like a legitimate heel and one of the better heels in the company, but it's hard to believe that Del Rio just kind of squandered his chance to be the guy, the man. I wonder where they would have put him though. Like, if you think about this past year, right? Where would he fit in? Like, where would he fit in that main event scene? Like, let's look back at 1 year from when he came in. Roman was there, Seth was there, Dean was there. Like, where would he have fit there? They had that whole triangle. John had left for a while, but he had the U.S. championship. Then they did that weird ass story where they put Del Rio with Sheamus, Wade Barrett, and Rusev. I'm gonna say top of NXT. Not sure what that means. Supreme Suplex. You're gonna have to be more specific there because I don't know what that means when it comes to top of NXT. So I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that Del Rio's quitting. It sucks because WWE's lacking some talent right now, and when I mean talent, I mean more like SmackDown's lacking talent. SmackDown's hurting right now. If WWE would have just kind of no, there's no way. Like, why would Del Rio be the NXT champ? That makes no sense. If the WWE wouldn't have like wanted to separate Paige and him so bad, like you bring Paige over to SmackDown as well. That beefs up the women's division over there. You give Del Rio some play, maybe give him a run at the Miz again. Like, you know, you could have done things with him. Like right now, I love Dolph Ziggler, but like Dolph fell so quickly to going against the Miz now again that you could have put Del Rio there. Like, there's things you could have done with Del Rio. Like, there's things like that whole 3 to 4 months that you put him in with League of Nations. Is that what they were called? That was horrible. That was horrible for everybody involved. Oh, you're saying that have Del Rio go to NXT and improve as the rookies? No, because Del Rio was still a household name. There'll be no point of making him go down to NXT. He I don't think he would ever really like. He's never. He's been dirty for a long time, and then when he left, he was there for a long time. His mic work was never going to improve more than it was. They just needed to find a better character for him. What was best for him was when he had his own in-ring announcer and he came in as that cocky Hispanic guy with a lot of money. That worked. But I don't know. It just sucks. We're gonna lose Del Rio. Let's get back to the Paige situation, wherever the hell that is. Where's the Paige? There you go. So with that happening, let's get into the Paige thing. I don't know if the firing of Paige is right. It seems morally wrong. Like super wrong. I can't believe they would even do that. Like the fact that you're like, oh, we don't want you to be together, so we're gonna break you guys up and we're gonna separate you guys as much as possible so you guys will break up. That seems so like the parent trying to break up the two kids, and then the daughter rebels, and it looked like Paige was rebelling. Paige is known as a rebel, and Paige has not been on TV, so they were punishing her and they were doing all these things. So in honesty, it wasn't working. They needed to do something better, and this is not what they should have done. But if you think about it right now, Paige shouldn't be on Raw anyway. Like look at Raw. Look at Raw's female right now, female division. They're set. They got Bayley. They got Charlotte. They got Sasha when she comes back. They got Nia Jax. They have who else is there? Dana Brooks. There's no room right now for Paige. Okay. There's room for Paige, but it would be in a secondary story, right? Why not put Paige over on SmackDown? Have her get into a feud with Becky Lynch. That would be fucking amazing. Like, if Paige was over on SmackDown, it would automatically elevate SmackDown. You'd have Natalya. You'd have you'd have Becky. You'd have Paige. Like, WWE think. Instead, you're just wasting her over there doing nothing with her. Like, SmackDown needs talent right now, and the division for the women's division is just garbage. So I think the WWE needs to fix some things, figure out like what to do when it comes to like making their character like decisions for their talent better. So those are my thoughts on Paige and Del Rio. See, this is why I thought SmackDown should have had the cruiserweights and Raw have women. Yes, that would have worked amazing. Like Supreme Suplex, amazing. Like I said that when I saw that in my review for that, I was like, why the fuck does Raw have the cruiserweights when Raw like doesn't have Daniel Bryan or Mauro Ranallo, who are calling the shots at the CWC and doing it so well? Like, put all the women on Raw. They still get the main limelight of Raw, and then make SmackDown that show that we as marks want to see. Put the cruiserweights on there. Give them half an hour. You eliminate the women stuff. Bam, you eliminate that. And already on SmackDown, you have about 20 minutes to spare. You put out 1 or 2 cruiserweight matches. Don't build story it, do things with it. So, like, I don't know. It just, like, Raw is just too overpowered right now. All right, let's move on. What's the next story that we could talk about here? All right, we can talk about this one here. So Cody Rhodes. Okay, so if you guys know what happened this week when let me see, bring up the other story. So you guys know what happened this week when it comes to the situation with when Kevin Owens won his championship, and let me close that one out. When Kevin Owens won his championship, and that ESPN analyst Aman Al-Hassan, I'll be honest with you guys, I watch ESPN, I have no idea who this guy is. I guess he's the guy from Sports Nation, which I watch occasionally. So he took shots at Kevin Owens' son at the way he reacted to Kevin Owens winning. His son was like lost for words, didn't know what to say, and then out of nowhere, this guy tweeted, can't find this tweet, but it was something about, oh, it's predetermined, it's scripted, all this other stuff. Unnecessary stuff there. Like, everybody that watches wrestling knows it's scripted. Most people do. Even if kids don't know, like, what's it matter? Why would you want to like dash the dreams of a kid? It's like walking up to a random kid who still believes in Santa Claus and saying, "Oh, Santa Claus isn't real." Well, that whole situation happened, and it was ESPN's man here, Al Hassan, was forced to apologize. Let's see if I can find the tweet where he put it. Here it goes. Tweeted an unoffensive joke about Kevin Owens' son not realizing the pro wrestling is where the fuck is it? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the tweet was, but I know it was something like he said a joke and it was an ill taste, whatever. They made him apologize. And Mick Foley, he was over here even saying that he wanted verbal apologies and that he wasn't going to tweet at the guy. He was going to go straight after the people in Bristol, Connecticut, which is where ESPN's headquarters are located. Like, it's just like, there's some stupid things that happen. Like, my thing is, why do people that don't watch wrestling feel the need to have to rub it, like, say it all the time, like, wrestling isn't fake, wrestling is fake, wrestling is predetermined, wrestling, they're not real athletes. What's the point of that? Like, I don't get it. If you don't like wrestling, you don't like wrestling. Nobody's forcing you to watch wrestling. Don't waste our time. And nobody knew who you were until you decided to randomly shit on, like, Kevin Owens' son because his son was in shock and awe because his dad just won the championship. Like, that would be like if somebody, like, we get it, it's predetermined, it's a show, it's fake, we get it, but people have been injured, people are putting things together. Like, it's like going to a Broadway play and shitting on them because, hey, you weren't there in 1920, like, and you're shitting on the period pieces, or making fun of, like, actors because, oh, well, you don't know what it's like, you know what I mean? Like, so therefore your job is useless, it's pointless. Like, wrestlers are actors and athletes together. So for somebody to feel the need to go after them constantly, like, all the time, because I like wrestling, it's like, oh, well, it's fake, it's stupid. Yeah, it's fake, it's stupid, but it's as stupid and as fake as any show you watch on TV, any play that you go to watch at a Broadway, like anything on Broadway. So for people to have, like, this need to go out of their way to do this, like, he clearly doesn't watch wrestling, yet he somehow felt the need that he wanted to shit on, like, oh, it's predetermined. It was a stupid joke. He was forced to apologize. Mick Foley even wanted him to apologize, and Mick Foley went after it. Like, just a bunch of stupid stuff. And then Cody Rhodes actually says here, Cody Rhodes says WWE needs to have balls and cut ties with ESPN and TMZ. So here are the tweets that Cody Rhodes put. Here's the tweet from Alsan. Until someone told him it was scripted. Just do a joke. So WWE, this is what Cody Rhodes tweeted. WWE cut ties with TMZ. They ran my mother's 911 call. Cut ties with ESPN. They insulted a child. Have balls. Mainstream ain't always worth it. WWE's in it for the money. What Cody Rhodes is saying is 100% true. But WWE is in it for the money. That's all they care about. They are in it for the money. What he's saying is 100% true, though. Sometimes mainstream isn't amazing. We love NXT, and NXT is far from mainstream. NXT is 1 hour of what we want. Like, it's, I don't know, it just, to me, it bothers me that so many, like, sometimes the WWE, I was actually really happy, and I was telling my brothers and my, like, friends, I'm like, can you guys believe that ESPN now has a section for wrestling? That's really cool. That's amazing. That's super fun. My problem is that I feel some people from ESPN are super bitter about it. Like, oh, like, because wrestling isn't a real sport, according to them. What these people are doing isn't real. Well, somebody tell Finn Balor, Sting, and all these people that have been injured, tell like, all these people that constantly get injured, tell Daniel Bryan if his concussion is, oh, it's fake, it's scripted. Because what half these people do, hell, what most of these people do, nobody in sports can do. Like, you know how many people who come from the NFL trying to be in WWE or in wrestling and they fail? It's not easy. So for people to constantly berate people who like it or people who are there because, oh, it's not a real sport. And I feel that some people at ESPN are just bitter. And the fact that Cody Rhodes is even saying, and Cody Rhodes, yes, he may have some beef right now with WWE because he wanted to get out of there and they wouldn't listen to him. But I believe what he's saying is 100% true. Sometimes mainstream isn't worth it. I don't think WWE has ties with TMZ. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think anybody has ties with TMZ. TMZ is just always fucking around. Like, they're always there. But the ESPN thing, I don't want them to cut ties with ESPN. It's gonna help us. Like, it's gonna help when I mean us, I mean it's gonna help the wrestling community grow. It's gonna open it up, because now it's gonna allow for maybe on ESPN on Saturdays, you guys on or on Sundays when pay-per-views happen, you put like the pre-show on there. Maybe you do an ESPN like Saturday night, you put TakeOver on there. You know what I mean? Like, it'll open it up. People can actually see it and like embrace it. But I don't know. I get what Cody Rhodes is saying, and it sucks because like I really want the ESPN thing to work. I think it's gonna benefit us going forward. All right. So moving on from one stupid ass thing to another stupid ass thing. Here we go. So Vince Russo. Vince fucking Russo. So Vince Russo is a guy that he's vocal, man. And he comes off like the most bitter fucking ex in the world. Like, he comes off like he's bitter as fuck sometimes. And I get it. He sometimes is a smart man. I mean, he had some great moments during the Attitude Era. He also shitted a lot of stuff in the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era wasn't great. There's a lot of really bad stuff in there. And he also shitted on a lot of stuff that happened at WCW. But he was talking on his podcast, I believe it was, and I am not reading this whole shit, but the gist of this was he was saying that Kevin Owens can't be your guy. He can't be your new John Cena. He can't be the face of the company. He was saying that David Arquette during the WCW days was more over than Kevin Owens is right now. First off, I don't think anybody fucking liked David Arquette as fucking champion. So being over, what the fuck does that mean? David Arquette was in the Scream movies, one of my personal favorite horror movies of all time. I don't think he was did he have anything besides that? Like, how was he over? Does anybody like David Arquette? Like, if I ask you guys to name me 3 David Arquette movies besides Scream, can you guys name any? Because right now I'm naming Ready to Rumble, which is not a good movie, but I like it. Yeah, David Arquette isn't a household name anywhere. I know him from Friends. He was in Friends in a couple episodes. But for Russo to say that David Arquette was more over than Kevin Owens is a fucking joke. Oh my god, this is so long. I'm not reading this whole shit. Dear Jesus. I don't know. It's a fucking long ass thing where she says bro in it a lot. Like, I've read parts of it. I've seen it, but he is so dumb sometimes. Like, what he's saying makes no sense. And also, why can't Kevin Owens be like our champion? In there, he also talks about like Kevin Owens isn't relatable. Kevin Owens looks like a fucking regular dude. A regular dude who fucking does amazing shit. He's like an average Joe who, when he gets in the ring, does like amazing shit. Backflips, is great on the mic, does great shit, has amazing charisma. Somebody explain to me why Kevin Owens can't be our guy, our champion, our face that goes on Good Morning America, our face that goes on all these talk shows and events and stuff. Like, why? He is probably the best person on the mic right now in WWE. It's between him, Seth Rollins, and maybe Chris Jericho right now. Like, how is Kevin Owens not the right guy? Says wrestling is that it's rock bottom. Like, what? What the fuck? Like, what are you talking about, Vince Russo? Why is, like, what? If you guys want to check this out, look it up. Just look up Vince Russo on Kevin Owens. It's like, it's super long. Like, it's super fucking long. It's just, Vince Russo, if you read it, it comes off super bitter. I read about, let me see. I read a decent amount of it. Not all of it. It's just too fucking long. And the dude says a bunch of shit in it that I'm just can't get it. He has a promotion that he's trying to promote as well. What the fuck is it? It's like some Rocky Mountain wrestling or something. So Vince Russo sometimes says dumb shit. And, well, 80% of what Vince Russo says is dumb shit. 20% of it is actually enticing and makes sense. But most of the time he says dumb shit and it makes no sense. So, I don't know. I don't get why Kevin Owens can't be our guy. People are eating it up. I guarantee on Monday Night Raw, he is going to get fucking cheered. And he's going to be the bad guy getting cheered. And according to rumors right now, they're going to do a reunion with the Shield. So it's going to be Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens and somebody. So those are rumors right now. But it makes sense. So yeah, Vince Russo. saying dumb shit. Just dumb shit. All right, let's see what we got here. Original plans, main event push. Bam, we talked about that. Let's see what else we got here. We talked about that. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get to that big story about Roman Reigns at the end here. It's. Oh yeah. So, MMA Insider says CM Punk and Colt Cabana are no longer friends. Details on what the fuck on Colt Cabana did not. Okay, here we go. It's their tweets. Oh my god. Where are we? Dude, this is so fucking long. According to MMA Insider, they're no longer friends, and the two former talents are no longer following each other on Twitter. Sorry about that. Brian notes in the tweets below that Cabana apparently attended a WWE Raw taping and went backstage and took photos with people, which angered CM Punk. Like, I love CM Punk, but yeah, we all know that he's got a fucking attitude problem. I've been watching his MMA show, The Evolution of Punk, I think it's called, which is like leading up to his UFC 203 fight. And yeah, he has an attitude problem. That's one of his main problems. He has anger issues. So the gist of it is, like, it's right there. Like, CM Punk and Colt Cabana are not friends because CM Punk does not like the Cabana went to a WWE event and hung out with some people that makes CM Punk feel betrayed. Stupid fight, stupid reason, but it's what it is. As noted, Chris seeking compensation damage as well. We don't need to talk about that. So yeah, I don't know. That's just a basic ass story. But let's get to the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. Our man, Roman Reigns, is the #1 wrestler in the fucking world. Yeah, boy. Oh my god, this is a joke. Alright, let's get right to this. Roman Reigns has been named the #1 ranked wrestler on the 26th annual PWI Top 500 list. The evaluation period for the list was July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2016. During that period, Reigns won the WWE title 3 times. So the criteria for how they rank these is super weird. Like, super weird. They really go based on what the story, like what was written, how the character was pushed. So Roman winning the title 3 times in 1 year was a big deal. Like, even though we all know it's scripted and everything, but it was a big deal. Not that not the fact that he didn't get over with nobody. No, that's not what happened. He didn't get over with anybody, and yeah, he still got the push, and that's why he's #1. Where the fuck's the? Oh my god, there's like. I need to figure out where the list is. Try to find the list. Nope. I know that there was like a list I saw where it was like I had the top 5 was Finn Balor was in there, Jay Lethal was in there, AJ Styles was in there. Everybody has to remember that Seth Rollins was hurt during this time period, so he was not able to do much of anything. Let me see if I can find that. And then there was also an Asian wrestler that was somewhere in there. Let me see if I can find that. Because this is a magazine, so they were either by the magazine, so nobody really knows what the top. Oh, here it goes. Found it. So they have the top 5 here. I think that's it right there. Yeah. So this is currently this is currently the top 5 according to PW whatever Insider. Yeah, so we got Roman Reigns #1. We got Katsu whatever Okada. I'm assuming one of the great guys from New Japan, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal is one of the guys that I want to be in WWE so bad. Like, there's some guys that I want. Like, the guys that I want to be in WWE really bad are Jay Lethal, and I also think Joe Hendry, who I've seen a lot in WCPW, and I love Joe Hendry. I think he would kill it in WWE. But yeah, this is the top 5. The criteria is weird, so it doesn't. I don't know. The fact that he won it 3 times, it's stupid that's what they consider like a big deal. Like, oh, you won it 3 times, therefore you deserve to be #1. Not that the fans booed the shit out of you and the fans hate your guts and the fans constantly yell you can't wrestle and the fans cheer everybody you go against except for Sheamus. Yeah, so this is the link. You have to buy the article. You have to buy the magazine to see the full list until it actually comes out. But I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of this past year who I would put up there. All right, so Finn Balor, yes, because of what he did at NXT. AJ Styles, like Jay Lethal, Nakamura for me should be up there. Nakamura did a lot in the past year. When was the cutoff date? June 30th. So it was before SummerSlam. I don't know, man. There's a couple guys that like. Who do you guys think? Who do you guys believe should be up there? Who should be on this list? Who deserves to be up in like the top 10 wrestlers? I mean, this thing goes into the top 500 and they give details, but the fact that they threw Roman Reigns on it, I'm assuming people aren't going to be happy with that, man. People will not be happy with that. Oh man, it's looking like my streaming is not going well. But I don't know. Those are just my thoughts on it, and I think that's pretty much all that I have for news this week. And like I said, I mostly do this stuff just to have a small little segment, 30 to 40 minutes talking to you guys, hanging out, talking about wrestling, and I might actually live stream a game one of these days just to hang out with you guys and talk. And also, like, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because I know I haven't been doing top 10s and stuff like that, but like, trust me guys, I have a lot of big plans for this channel. Top 10s are coming, like good top 10s. If you guys want to see the kind of top 10s that I will be doing, go on the channel and look at some of the top 10s I've already done. There are some wrestling top 10s. One is TLC, one is SummerSlam, more SummerSlam matches, so be on the lookout for some of that because that is definitely going to be coming. I am definitely trying to make this more, like, give you guys more content because I love editing, I love talking with you guys, I love hanging out, love you guys seeing my thoughts and stuff. But as always, remember that this is not a WWE channel, even though if you look at the last like 15 videos, it's been all wrestling stuff, with like I think one top 10 list for movies in there. But Geeked Out Nation has always and will always be a place for all things geek. I love wrestling, I love movies, love video games, love TV shows, and Geeked Out Nation is all about that. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, share the channel. When I put top 10s up, make sure you guys share all that good stuff. It always like helps and stuff. But I think I'm gonna get out of here. Went through all the news that I saw. Let me just make sure there's not anything happening right now in the wild world of Twitter. Nope, I don't see anything. Alright, so pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, comment below, let me know what your thoughts were. As always, this is pretty much me hanging out with you guys, talking with you guys, just having a grand old time, talking about wrestling. Be back on Monday after Raw. We will be doing this live again, talking about Raw. On Tuesday, talking about SmackDown. And on either Thursday or Friday night around this time, I will also be doing another one of these, talking about the news of the week. And all the shows are like this, me hanging out with you guys, talking, seeing the comments with you. The Supreme Suplex, you were the only person that commented, but I loved having a conversation with you. I loved you engaging with me. Awesome. The more engagements I have, the better. It feels great. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.